Hello guys, welcome back to Algebra class. So this time we're going to learn about rational expression. So this one is a bit simplified version. Let's do this one. So when you do multiplying rational function, it's pretty simple. First, as you can see, that's the basic concept. P of x over Q of x, which means you will have one expression on the top and another expression in the bottom like that. So that's the basic concept. So let's see how it works. One thing that you have to remember is denominator cannot be equal to 0. So like for example, if you have something like this, x cannot be equal to 0 because you cannot simply have something that makes you 0. So that keep in mind. So here we have a rational function and we want to simplify. Now, as you can see, this one we can simplify it. So step 1, factor numerator of the rational expression. So see if you have anything that you can simplify on the top. X plus 3, this one you cannot simplify further, so I will just copy this one down here. Okay, but at the bottom it says now we're gonna factor denominator. So simple, you're gonna put last number, which is positive 6 on the top, second number positive 5 in the bottom. Something times something gives you 6, and if you add them up you get 5. 3 times 2. 3 times 2 gives you 6, 3 plus 2 gives you 5. So if you simplify it, this one is gonna be x plus 3 and x plus 2. Okay? Now, remember, where x cannot be equal to, now, as I said, denominator cannot be equal to 0, right? What happens if you put negative 3 into x? Then negative 3 plus 3 will become 0, and if this one is a 0, if you distribute 0, this entire thing will become 0 like that. So that's what cannot be happening, okay? So x cannot be equal to opposite of this number, which is negative 3, or opposite of this number, which is negative 2. So keep that in mind. Step 3, cross out common factors. So do we have a common factor here? Yes, we do. We have x plus 3 on the top, x plus 3 in the bottom. So what we're going to do is we are going to cross that out, which we have 1 over x plus 2 left over, where x cannot be equal to negative 3, comma, negative 2. So determine x values that cannot be existed, including what you have crossed out, which is negative 3 and negative 2. So we already did it here. So last part, I'm not going to do it. I keep that in mind. This negative 3, later this one is gonna be our whole, okay? And that you're gonna learn it later. So when you write down the answer for the multiple choice, most likely you will have something like this only, like, and where x cannot be equal to negative 2. But in reality, x also cannot be equal to negative 3. So that part you're gonna learn it maybe in 2 weeks. So here is some practice set. Here are some practice sets. So try these questions by yourself. I will try a question on the left. So there's nothing that I can simplify on the top, so I will just simplify in the bottom, which I have negative 14 in the top, 5 in the bottom. So what's 7 and negative 2 can give you this. So I have x minus 2 over x plus 7 and x minus 2. And as I can see, I can cross these two out. So I will have 1 over x plus 7 left over, where x cannot be equal to negative 7, which is opposite of this, and positive 2. And this one is going to be our whole later, okay? So try this question by yourself. Pause the video and try it by yourself. Now, let me try this question. So now this one is a bit different because you have expression on the top, expression in the bottom. But it works out pretty simple. So let's factor out top. We have positive 6 and negative 5. What can give you this? Negative 6 and 1? No. Negative 3 and negative 2. So top part is what? X minus 3 and x minus 2 over. What about the bottom part? What about the bottom part? I have 14 and negative 9. Let's see what can give us this. Negative 7 and negative 2, I believe. So it's going to be x minus 2 and x minus 7. Good. So let's simplify. What can we simplify? These two can cancel out. So I have x minus 3 on the top and x minus 7 in the bottom, where x cannot be equal to positive 2, comma, positive 7. And 2, we canceled it out, so this will be our whole later, okay? So let's make a habit to label whole, okay? Whole is gonna be a point, not just this one number, but it's gonna be better for you to practice like this, okay? You will understand what I mean later. Now try this question by yourself. So we learned about simplifying rational expression here for this. So what you're gonna learn now is multiplying rational expression, okay? So about the multiplying rational expression is pretty simple. It's same thing, just you're multiplying here, right? So you just have more things to factor. So step 1, factor numerators of rational expression. So you're gonna factor this one and this one. This one cannot be factored because x plus 3 is already factored. So we will only factor this one. So what can give us this? Negative 20 on the top, and there's no number, so it's positive 1. What can give us this? 5 and negative 4. So on the top, I have what? X plus 5, x minus 4 over x minus 2 times x plus 3. And let me just write this one down. And what I have to do is now we're going to factor denominators, okay? I mean, you can do everything at once if you want to, but it's going to be confusing if you do everything at one time. So what can give us this one? 7 and 2? No. 5 and 3. Yep. So x plus 5 on the top, x minus 4 in the bottom, and I have what? X minus 2 times, I have x plus 3 over x plus 5 and x plus 3. Alright, so now let's simplify with simple factors. So remember, you can cross like that, okay? As one on the top, one on the bottom, like that. You can cross that out. So x plus 5 will be cancelled out. X plus 3 will be cancelled out like that. And we have what on the top? X minus 4 and x minus 2 left over. So we have what? X minus 4 over x minus 2, where x cannot be equal to positive 2. And what are numbers that we crossed out? Opposite of positive 5, so it should be negative 5 and negative 3. And as you can see, these two numbers will be factors of what we call whole. Okay? You will see this one later. And let's say multiply back if there's any leftover factors. What it means is, let's say you have something like this. Let's say like you assume you got it back. After you got this one, what it means is just multiply this one back. So like something like this, so that you can have something like that. Okay? But it's not that necessary. It's not that necessary yet, but that can be one thing that you have to do. So here, try these questions by yourself. I believe there's no problem you're doing it. I will go over this one question and that's about it. So here, if I want to do this, I'm going to factor this one out first. This one is what? X, it's difference of squares. So x plus 1, x minus 1. Okay? And let me factor out this one. Negative 6 and 1. What can give you this? 3 and negative 2. So it's going to be x plus 3, x minus 2 times. Now let me factor this. So it's what? Negative 2 and negative 1. What can give us this? Negative 1, negative 2 and 1. So x minus 2, x plus 1 over, and let's factor this one. 1 and 2. 1 times 1 can give you this, so x plus 1, x plus 1. Alright, let's do the fun part from now on. What can I cross out? Here, this is my favorite part. X plus 1 like that. You can, so, you see x plus 1, we have it here as well, but you cannot cross that out because you can actually. One at a time, okay? If you cross out x plus 1 on the top, you can only cross out 1 on the top, 1 on the bottom like that, okay? We have x minus 2 here like that, 1 and 1, and that's it. Remember, if you have only 1 x plus 1, you can take out only 1 x plus 1 in the bottom. In this case, we had x plus 1 on the 2x plus 1 on the top, therefore we can cross out 2. Okay, keep that in mind. So on the top, we have x minus 1 over, in the bottom, x plus 3 left over, where x cannot be equal to negative 3. And what else? Positive 2 and negative 1. And these two are going to be our wholes. Okay? That's it. So these are going to be our solution. So try these 2 questions by yourself. And if you have any question, just let me know so that I can help you. See you guys.